I was scrolling through Reddit the other night, just minding my business, and I stumbled on a video from Kassidy O'Connell. First off, let me say this. Kassidy deserves flowers because the way she broke this down was a thing of beauty. We talk a lot on here about how messy Blake Lively's lawsuit is, but Kassidy made me realize it's not just messy. It's not even "this might go badly" messy. It's "this case is already a corpse, and Blake's dragging it through the streets like Weekend at Bernie's messy." And before anyone that is a little subpoena happy gets dramatic, let me make this crystal clear. Everything I'm saying is based on publicly available filings and commentary, and yes, it's my opinion. Translation: I'm just the person pointing out that her legal strategy looks like it was scribbled in crayon on a cocktail napkin while drunk at a dirty dive bar. Because Blake came into this lawsuit swinging. She filed like she was about to drop the hottest courtroom album of the year. 3 harassment claims, 3 retaliation claims, defamation, conspiracy, false light. She basically tried to throw the entire legal kitchen sink at Wayfarer. And on the surface, that looks scary, right? It's like when someone piles on 10 accusations at once, you assume at least one has to stick. But here's the twist. Every single one of those claims is stitched together with duct tape. The case looks like a designer handbag from afar, but the second you get close enough to examine it, you can see that it's actually from Temu. Why? Because Blake is trying to build her case with California law in a New York courtroom about a movie filmed in New Jersey. This isn't a lawsuit. It's a lost luggage claim at JFK. You can practically hear the judge sighing as he looks at this patchwork of contradictions. Let's start with the crown jewel of Blake's lawsuit: false light. Now, false light is basically when someone portrays you to the public in a misleading way that makes you look bad, even if what they said is technically true. Like if someone posted a video of you tripping on the sidewalk with a caption, "drunk again," when you were actually sober and just clumsy, that's false light. Sounds fancy, right? Well, here's the problem. New York courts don't recognize it at all. Zero precedent, zero tolerance. They've had plenty of chances over the years, and they've always said no. It's not just unlikely, it's impossible. So when Blake filed that claim in New York, it's like she brought monopoly money to pay rent. Useless. Even if she somehow convinced the judge to humor her, she'd still have to prove Wayfarer created a false impression of her. And this is where it gets hilarious. What false impression could they possibly create when her public record is already overflowing with receipts? People have been dragging Blake for years. Plantation wedding, antebellum aesthetic website, doing a Woody Allen movie, her odd defense of Harvey Weinstein, petty feuds with co-stars. None of this started with Wayfarer. It's all Blake. So trying to argue that Wayfarer made her look worse than she already does is like saying rain ruined your hair when you are bald. Then we've got the retaliation claims. Blake wants to use California's FEHA law like it's her golden ticket. But here's the thing. She's not a California resident, and she admitted in her own deposition that the movie filmed in New Jersey. When she was asked, "Was this filmed in California?" she said, "No, it was in New Jersey." Then, when asked again about later filming, she said, "That was in New Jersey too, with a couple days in California at the end." Congratulations, Blake. You just eliminated your own California claims on the record. And New York law won't save her either, because she also admitted nothing happened in New York. It's like watching someone build an escape room, then trap themselves inside it. That's not strategy. That's a hobby in self-destruction. So what's left? The federal Title VII standard. And that's not an easy one. This isn't someone said something gross at work. This is your entire workplace was so saturated with harassment that you couldn't escape it. The word courts use is permeated, like the whole place has to be soaked in it. And here's where it really falls apart for her, because every inch of that set was filmed. Behind-the-scenes clips, extras with iPhones, fan accounts, and what do we see? Blake running the set like she's the director. Blake grabbing Justin Baldoni's body and saying, "Do it like this." Blake demanding reshoots. Blake calling the shots. If you're trying to argue that you were powerless, that footage makes you look like the one holding the power. Damages? Don't even get me started. For emotional distress, you need medical records. She dropped those claims. For business harm, you need to prove your company actually suffered. Instead, Blake has been bragging about her hair care brand thriving. Twice. She went out telling the world how great sales were, how people were buying it up like crazy. You can't say Wayfarer ruined my business while simultaneously posting your sales stats like a proud CEO. That's like crying bankruptcy while live streaming your shopping spree. And then there's causation. She'd have to show Wayfarer directly caused the bad press about her, like a direct line from them to a specific headline. Instead, all she's got are chat logs of people talking about maybe reaching out to Perez Hilton. That's not proof. Meanwhile, the criticism about her has been going on since Gossip Girl. Fans hated her attitude back then, they hated her comments, they hated her decisions. It's been a pattern for years. So when she says Wayfarer caused her public downfall, it just doesn't track. The timeline hurts her too. She claims she reported harassment in May. The supposed retaliation didn't happen until August, months later. Courts don't like that gap. Retaliation cases rely on timing. If it's not close, it looks weak. And in my opinion, it looks less like retaliation and more like the natural result of Blake burning bridges. Even her own husband Ryan couldn't be bothered to back her up. He had time to post about his soccer team, but on her birthday and Mother's Day, crickets. That silence says more than any legal filing. So what happens next? Summary judgment is coming in just over 2 months. That's when the judge looks at all the claims and decides which ones can even make it to trial. And based on everything we've seen, most of Blake's claims are about to get tossed. California laws? Gone. New York laws? Never had a chance. Title VII? Unless Blake magically produces hidden footage of herself sobbing in a corner, that won't survive either. When that ruling hits, this case will be gutted. Here's the thing though. This judge has seen it all. He knows New York doesn't recognize false light. He knows California law can't be imported. He knows the territorial scope issues. In my opinion, he probably recognized from day one that Blake doesn't have a case, but rather than dismiss it outright, he's letting her exhaust every angle so she can't turn around later and cry foul. That means we're stuck watching this circus play out until summary judgment. But make no mistake, when the time comes, this case collapses. So the way I see it, Blake isn't losing because of Wayfarer. She's losing because of Blake. She picked the wrong state, the wrong laws, and made the wrong arguments. And on top of that, her own deposition and her own bragging about her business cut the legs out from under her. This isn't a legal takedown. It's self-inflicted. So what do you think? Does Blake somehow make it past summary judgment? Or is this whole case getting sliced down to nothing in a couple of months? Drop your predictions in the comments, because I want to see if anyone out there actually believes she walks away with a win. And subscribe, because the second those rulings drop, I'll be right here with the receipts.